website of ECP as required by section 2093 in the interest of justice, hold and declare that proceedings by ECP in this regard are without jurisdiction, without lawful authority and illegal, and no action can be taken by ECP in pursuance thereof. Hold and declare that ECP cannot question the validity of the IPEs, which is intra-party elections, on the basis of any objections filed by any person. In the meanwhile, restrain the ECP.
Can you go back to page 602? In paragraph 2, this is the dispute.
G.
Any other points?
Actually, the point that I wanted to make with reference to the Constitution was, my lord, that if Your Honours,
when you use the word Constitution, just clarify. PTI or Pakistan?
PTI Constitution.
Achha.
My apologies. Page 171. यहाँ पर जनाब देखेंगे कि जो शिक है 1.3.7, this is second from the bottom. SG, which is the Secretary General, shall represent party in all judicial and legal matters. So while the questions were being asked by the court, I observed that the Peshawar petition was not authorized by the Secretary General, but the Chairman. So this was just a point I wanted to bring to the court's notice.
Yeah, Umar Ayub Khan is a petitioner.
In Lahore,
in Peshawar.
He's a petitioner, but he's one of the petitioners here. But the authority that is appended, अगर उसको मैं उसका सफा भी बता देता हूँ, वो that has been not given by the Secretary General himself, but by the Chairman. But like I said,
oh sorry.
Apologies. I think there's a last 2 points, sir. प्राइवेट क्लब नहीं है, अभी हमने सुना है कि पॉलिटिकल भी है, इट्स अ मोर. और आखिरी सेक्शन 66 का हवाला देना चाहता हूं, बिकॉज 104 सेक्शन ऑफ द इलेक्शंस एक्ट का जिक्र किया गया. सेक्शन 66 इज क्वाइट इंस्ट्रक्टिव टू दैट डिबेट. आई जस्ट वांट टू आइडेंटिफाई दैट. 66 says a contesting candidate before seeking allotment of a prescribed symbol shall file a declaration before the returning officer about his affiliation with a particular political party, if any, along with a certificate from the political party showing that he is the party's candidate from the constituency. So ये जो तासुर दिया गया कि सिंबल, ये जो आपने लिस्ट देनी है या affiliation एसोसिएट करनी है, सिंबल मिलने से पहले करनी है, तो कोई अमर माने नहीं है किसी भी कैंडिडेट को अपने कागज जमा करा के इलेक्शन लड़ने के लिए.
ये जो 1666 is it attending to general elections or intra-party elections?
So I'm now coming to the general elections.
नहीं, ये 66 जो पढ़ रहे हैं,
जी general elections.
I've not understood the point.
Sorry, it was argued that the election commission perhaps wants to deprive the party from the symbol and in the process disenfranchise lakhs of people and also its members. So यहाँ पर वाज़े है कि कानून की मंशा ये है कि अगर कोई इलेक्शन लड़ना चाहता है तो वो जब अपने कागज जमा कराएगा तो उसने एक अपना एफिलिएशन लेटर और अपनी कागज प्रायर टू अलॉटमेंट ऑफ सिंबल करना है. तो जो एप्रीहेंशन है कि जी सिंबल नहीं मिला हम इलेक्शन नहीं लड़ सकेंगे, ऐसा कोई नहीं है. पार्टी के बेस के ऊपर पार्टी ये कह सकती है जी कि मैं इस पार्टी का नुमाइंदगी से ये इलेक्शन लड़ रहा हूं. सिंबल की डिबेट बाद में शुरू होती है. ठीक, जिस तरह मैंने कल गुजारिश की थी, 3 कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस थे, मैं वो दोबारा रिपीट नहीं करता. That is it, my lord. I have nothing further to add unless there is a question that I need to respond to.
What is war of attrition? You should ask a question. I've asked a question.
On the I cannot answer that. लेकिन एक और सवाल में जब Badar was trying to mention, जब ये कहा गया कि जिस तरह इलेक्शन पिटिशंस के हवाले से बड़ी वाज़े प्रोविजंस है कानून में कि कौन चीज कब होनी है, क्या प्रोसीजर है, सेक्शन 3(1) और सेक्शन 4(3) का जिक्र नहीं किया गया
3(1)
ऑफ द इलेक्शंस एक्ट, जो ये कहता है कि जहां पर, ये मैं पढ़ देता हूं सर,
ये नए पॉइंट्स हैं तो हम जरा पढ़ तो लेना
जी. ये मैं ये सिर्फ वजाहत में करना चाहता हूं क्योंकि ये पॉइंट रेज हुआ.
सेक्शन 31
नो सर, सेक्शन 3 सबसेक्शन 1 of the Elections Act 2017. In the performance of its functions and duties and exercise of its powers, the Commission shall regulate its own procedure. सो अगर कोई ऐसी बात थी जो कह रहे हैं तो मेरी कंप्लेंट गई इंट्रा पार्टी के हवाले से।
चलें, खैर ये तो ओके।
और इसी तरह सेक्शन 4 में जनाब सब सेक्शन 3 जो है, इट फॉलोज द कंप्लीट जस्टिस पावर वेस्टिंग इन द कमीशन अंडर सब सेक्शन 1 एंड इट सेज, मैं 1 भी पढ़ देता हूं, द कमीशन शैल हैव द पावर टू इशू सच डायरेक्शंस और ऑर्डर्स एज मे बी नेसेसरी फॉर द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ इट्स फंक्शंस एंड ड्यूटीज इंक्लूडिंग एन ऑर्डर फॉर डूइंग कंप्लीट जस्टिस इन एनी मैटर बिफोर इट। बाकी अटेंडेंस। और इसी तरह से सब सेक्शन 3, एनीथिंग रिक्वायर्ड टू बी डन फॉर कैरिंग आउट द पर्पसेस ऑफ दिस एक्ट for which no provision or no sufficient provision exists shall be done by such authority and in such manner as the commission may direct. So वो जो challenge to the complaints and all है, उसके context में मैंने ये निशानदेही की है कि ये provisions भी exist करती हैं। The commission is not wholly deprived of power and authority. It is an independent body as the court has observed and it needs to be empowered.
Thank you, coach. Thank you. किधर हैं?
जी सर, आई एम इन्फॉर्म्ड कि पहले चिराग होता था बैट से। पहले चिराग होता था सिंबल बैट से पहले।
किसका?
2002 में पीटीआई का सिंबल की जो बात हो रही है।
ओके।
जिन्हें आपने एक सवाल पूछा था क्योंकि और सिंबल तो नहीं था, तो उसका मुझे उन्होंने बताया कि चिराग था।
So he's earned his keep.
Always. More than grateful.
Thank you. Eat anything?
My lord,
I just want to right of reply is restricted to the points other side is raised.
including the reasons assigned by the Peshawar. My lord, that would be my main burden because that has been the main plank of the argument of the other side. My lord, very, very briefly, may I just hand over a few notes of chronology first? My lord, this is a chronology which has just been given. This is just to save your lordship's time.
खान साहब को भी दीजिए।
जी। I will not read it. This just gives, my lord, the event and the timeline and the page number to facilitate your lordships.
अच्छा, एक इनका ये पॉइंट है कि आप डिफरेंट स्टैंडर्ड्स अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, किसी को आप फाइन लगा रहे हैं, किसी को कह रहे हैं बाद में इलेक्शन कर दो, और सिर्फ इन्हीं को टारगेट कर रहे हैं। ये पॉइंट पहले आप एड्रेस कर लें।
My lord, with your lordship's leave, as of yesterday, the enlistment of about 13 political parties,
13 or 30?
13,
जी।
they have been
आज कितनी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज हैं पाकिस्तान में?
वो मैं आपको चेक करके बताता हूँ, बट 13
सबूत है 13
का सर, देयर इज एन ऑर्डर, 13 का।
नहीं, एक तो हमने खुद देखा था, ऑल मुस्लिम लीग वाला जो था, ऑल पाकिस्तान मुस्लिम लीग।
Just place a copy of the order before your lordship.
They are all been done by one order or 13 order?
By one order.
ये ऑर्डर हमें दिखा दें।
जी सर।
So 13 plus 1, all Pakistan Muslim League was separate to this, so it is included in the 13.
My lord, this is not a case of all Pakistan Muslim League.
वो तो हमें पता है क्योंकि वो हमने खुद ही लिखा है परसों, इसी के कल लिखा।
Sorry, this is 12 plus 1 is that. These are the 12 parties. Your lordship will see they're all listed on page 1.
Page 1?
The very first page. This is the order
dated. नाम तो किसी का नजर नहीं आ रहा है मुझे। पहले नाम।
If your lordship will see after the name of the parties, your lordship see on
the names of the parties.
On commission's notice, Dr. Paul Jacob Bhatti, President Chairperson, All Pakistan.
कुछ और आपने हमें दे दिया, इस पे कहाँ लिखा है ये बातें?
क्या दिया?
ये किस ये ऑर्डर की बात कर रहे हैं?
जी सर, the order dated 4th of January 2024.
इधर किधर हैं पार्टीज के नाम?
Sir, if your lordship see the heading on commission's notice, and then your lordship will see serial number 1 to 12.
अच्छा नहीं ये, अच्छा अभी ये कुछ और दिया था। अच्छा ये वाला है। अच्छा ओके, गॉट इट। ऑल पाकिस्तान तहरीक, अवामी पार्टी, भावलपुर नेशनल पार्टी, सबका पाकिस्तान पार्टी, इनको आपने उड़ा दिया है।
Yes, the discussion is in paragraph 24.
नहीं ठीक है, वो हम ऑर्डर वो हम नहीं देखना चाहते क्योंकि कल को हो सकता है हमारे सामने चैलेंज हो जाए।
जी सर।
हम सिर्फ ये देखना चाह रहे थे कि आपने वो क्या उसको कहते हैं डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी ट्रीटमेंट तो नहीं किया है।
जी, एनपी को प्रॉब्लम की जो डिटेल जजमेंट हमें प्रोवाइड की गई बिकॉज ऑफ द लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन इन केपी, द टाइम वाज एक्सटेंडेड अप टू 10th of May of this year. उन्होंने रेफरेंस के लिए दे दिए हमें अभी जजमेंट।
अवामी नेशनल पार्टी को आपने टाइम दे दिया कि इलेक्शन बाद में करा लो।
Sir, that order I have also just taken a look at. It was handed over, a copy was handed over to me. In that particular case, the outer limit of the statute to hold an elections is 5 years. Those 5 years had not expired in their case, and they wanted an extension.
अच्छा, उनका 5 साल नहीं हुए थे?
5 साल जो सर स्टैट्यूट में आउटर लिमिट है वो 5 साल नहीं हुए थे, उस 5 साल के अंदर अंदर की उनको एक्सटेंशन दी गई है। कॉपी दे दूंगा।
अच्छा, ओके ठीक है, गॉट इट
माय लॉर्ड।
Okay, what else do you want to say?
My lord, a preliminary objection was raised by one of the learned counsel. Maintainability. Our respectful submission is that if this objection, first your lordship may see, file ke ऊपर कोई file. Election Commission please order. If that in a number of cases the Election Commission has come before this honorable court, and we have prepared the list to show recently the number of cases which the Election Commission has come before this honorable court, and this honorable court has dealt with their matters. Your lordship saw that this has been happening way back since the case of Javed Hashmi. And your lordship will see these are all petitions of 2023 and 2022 which have been disposed of by your lordship's. Election Commission's petitions have been entertained under Article 185. 2 quick points on that.
These are not reported judgments.
No, my lords, insofar as we are aware, they are not.
और आपने एक reported judgment भी तो दिया था।
जी सर, दो दिए थे।
कल दिए थे ना आपने?
जी सर।
वो तो लगे हुए हैं आपकी बुक में।
जी सर।
हाँ।
वो भी लगे हुए हैं, 2 अनरिपोर्टेड भी दिए थे, वो अलग से दिए थे, जिसमें से एक इसी बेंच का जजमेंट है। सर, the short point to be made in that respect is that this would mean, if this interpretation is accepted, it would mean that any declaration by the High Court with respect to the powers of the ECP would virtually be the final, and this honorable court would have no jurisdiction under Article 185.
I'm not really persuaded by that argument, so you want to move on to something
My lord, I will immediately then move on to the next one. The next argument was made with reference to the Tirmizi case. Our respectful submission is we had read out that passage of the judgment before your lordship. I need not read it again. That's in the bundle.
They relied on Tirmizi.
My lord, they have said that there is, once they had gone to Peshawar High Court, they did not have to go to Peshawar High Court again because the second order was a new cause of action which gave them the right to go to any court. Our submission based on Tirmizi is that in Tirmizi this honorable court was dealing also with 2 orders, and this honorable court held that generally the principle of concurrent jurisdiction applied, but where you had
You
elected...
read out that portion.
Yes, my lord.
The citation की दोबारा बता दें।
जी सर, this is my lord, PLD 2008 Supreme Court 735. It is in volume 1 of your lordship's bundle.
And relevant page was?
Relevant page was my lord 760 to 761.
ठीक है, and this is by what? How many judges?
My lord, this is by 5 judges of this honorable court.
PLD is a citation.
PLD 2008 Supreme Court 735.
At 760 and 1.
The relevant 760, 761. This is tab number 6 of volume 1 of the bundle that I handed over, and the relevant portion is highlighted. My lord, from that, and we rely on that, and that's it. The rule of propriety applies, and therefore the High Court should not have gone into this matter without first attending to it and dealing with it. My Lord, from there, we immediately, I have already given your Lordship a chronology. We immediately move to the
What is the significance of the chronology?
My Lord, the chronology is just to facilitate your Lordships to show what event took place on what date and where it is mentioned in these 3 paper books of your Lordship. So that's just a facilitation.
Agar if you don't agree with any item here, please let us know. ये जो दिया है document.
जी, we have given
वो mark कर दीजिएगा. I don't agree. जी.
So this is the chronology. My Lord, insofar as the judgment of the Peshawar High Court is concerned, the argument now gets focused.
Now we know the reasons.
Yes, my Lord. Your
Do
Lordship
you want
knows
to
the
launch
reason.
an attack or you withdrawing the attack?
No, my Lord, my submission is based on this, that the submissions which your Lordship have heard, in order to save your Lordship's time, the portions that I am going to identify, I have already highlighted in yellow in this photocopy of the judgment and placed before your Lordship. The controversy significantly narrows down. If your Lordship will see, the findings of the court are there from page 6 onwards. If your Lordship turns to page 7, at paragraph 9, the learned division bench of the High Court reproduces the facts in one paragraph, and paragraph 10 is important. The Lordship said the petitioners have questioned the impugned orders on legal as well as factual premise. Page 7, my Lord. The portions are highlighted. The facts are in paragraph 9. The finding is in paragraph 10. And I just read out the highlighted portion in paragraph 10.
We've read it. What do you want to say?
My Lord, I want to say that the High Court is saying that if so far as the facts before the Commission are concerned, we will not go into that facts. So if ECP had jurisdiction in the matter, then we had no mandate to interfere in the said findings. So they are saying we'll accept the findings of fact as they are. We will not interfere with them.
मुझे थोड़ा contradictory लग रहा है.
My Lord,
Is it my imagination or what is it?
My Lord, in a sense it is, and I'll show to your Lordship in a moment why it is, but may I say what they're saying over here, they are not engaging with any of the facts which were stated in the impugned order on the basis of which it was declared that they are not eligible to assemble. The High Court does not engage with any of the facts. They accept those as correct, and they say if the Commission had jurisdiction,
okay, got
that's
it.
the end of the matter. My Lord, your Lordship may turn the page. Paragraph 11 on page 8, I have highlighted the relevant portion, and I move on, if your Lordship may then move on to the next relevant paragraph which appears on page 13. In the middle of the paragraph, they say that the case of Salahuddin Tirmizi is not applicable. I have shown to your Lordship that it is, and how it is.
What is the reason given?
My Lord, the reason they give is that the petition filed by Mr. Umar Aftab Dillo and others in the Lahore High Court, they do not at all engage with WP 81171, which was with respect to the first round. However, as shown by your Lordship, that was a fact which was before them.
वो जो जवाद हसन साहब की जो ऑर्डर है, वो पिटिशन का क्या नंबर है?
287. That's the one they engage with.
287 पहले फाइल हुई थी या 5791?
287 is subsequent. What was earlier was 81171. They don't mention that at all.
क्योंकि उन्होंने डिस्क्लोज तो किया अपनी पिटिशन.
जी बिल्कुल डिस्क्लोज किया है, but under your according to your Lordship's judgment in the Salahuddin Tirmizi's case, they were obliged to deal with that petition.
नहीं तो वो समझे शायद एक ही पिटिशन थी लाहौर वाली, क्योंकि यहाँ अर्लियर इन टाइम था तो ये कंटिन्यूटी हो रही है. मगर अगर वो अपने ऑर्डर में तस्करा करते कि जी नहीं इससे भी पहले एक पिटिशन थी, तो शायद उनका फैसला बदल जाता.
Absolutely correct, my lord, and that was pointed out to them in oral submissions, and that was
कि वो अब आप देखिए ना, अगर आप ये कंफ्यूजन इसलिए क्रिएट हुआ कि अगर आप पिटिशनर के वो जो पैराग्राफ 33 पढ़ा था उसमें रिट पिटिशन का उन्होंने नंबर नहीं दिया।
That's correct, my lord.
जज साहब सोच रहे होंगे कि ये एक ही पिटिशन है,
Maybe.
उनको ये नहीं पता था कि 3 पिटिशन थी लाहौर में।
That's correct, my lord. That's correct.
क्योंकि अगर वो नंबर दे देते तो फिर तो बात फिर कॉन्शियस डिसीजन हो गया।
My lord.
If I was a judge, I could have also committed the same mistake. ये तो हो गया क्योंकि पहले वाली इधर आए थे ये। I don't know, वो नंबर उधर नहीं लिखा उधर।
My lord, so far as my instructions are concerned, the counsel appearing for the Election Commission of Pakistan in his submissions had provided the number, but the record over here in terms of the judgment doesn't disclose it. My lord, if your lordship turns to page 18 now, the question is identified. In paragraph 19, the question is identified and that's highlighted. The moot question whether the ECP has any jurisdiction to question, probe and adjudicate the intra-party election dispute or procedural impropriety in the matter in the election process of a political party. Then the last 3 lines, the verbiage of section 208 does not authorize the ECP either to supervise the intra-party election or entertain any complaint regarding any irregularity in the said election. However, it is the command of the section 209 of the Election Act that a political party shall within 7 days from the completion of intra-party election submit a certificate signed by office. On submission of the aforesaid documents, it is the statutory duty of commission to publish the set.
तो वही बात हो रही है, उन्होंने कहा सर्टिफिकेट आ गया बस बाकी
That's it. So they say we do not need to do.
आपका कहना है कि सर्टिफिकेट तो इज अ कल्मिनेशन ऑफ थिंग्स,
Yes.
इनफैक्ट इवन थिंग्स फॉलो। उनका कहना है ये नहीं, सर्टिफिकेट आ गया, आप हमारी इंटरनल मामलों में झांके मत।
जी sir. Sir, if that were the case, then the ECP really has no power under 215(5) to take any action in any case at all, because all that is required is a certificate signed by the party that we have held an election and following are our office bearers. Whether the election has been held validly, constitutionally, in accordance with their constitution.
एक सवाल रह गया
Sir.
ये जो कंप्लेंट आपके पास आई 14 कंप्लेंट्स,
My lord.
पहली दफा जो आपने नोटिस दिया था 2021 में, वो भी कंप्लेंट्स आई थी या वो आपने भेजा था कि इलेक्शन का टाइम हो गया है?
Sir, we had very initially we had
वो
2021 very initially we had ourselves written to them without any complaints.
Without any complaint.
We had written.
इस दफा कंप्लेंट्स आई?
जी sir. We had.
डिफरेंट नेचर ऑफ कंप्लेंट्स आई हैं, वो कह रहे हैं कि हमें मौका नहीं दे रहे हैं।
Sir, that's correct, sir.
ठीक, so can you say there's a different list than the Lahore High Court, because the list in Lahore High Court pertained to not holding of elections and the list in Peshawar High Court pertains to not holding of proper elections?
My lord-
Can you distinguish them or no?
My lord, on the 2021 show cause notice, there was no list. They said, give us time, give us 1 year. We gave them 1 year. The list started with the order of the Election Commission of 23rd June, where on the basis of complaints and on its own findings, the commission said that this.
23rd जून का ऑर्डर उन्होंने कहाँ चैलेंज किया?
उन्होंने वो ऑर्डर जो है वो लाहौर में चैलेंज किया. That's WP 81171.
जो 5 मेंबर बेंच सुनेगी,
जो 5 मेंबर बेंच सुनेगी.
पेंडिंग है अभी.
वो पेंडिंग है.
तो मुझे अगर कल वो अगर उसको मान लेते हैं, इनकी बात रिट अलाउ कर देते हैं, तो वो वाले जो लोग जीते थे कौन से इलेक्शन में 8 जून या 10 जून के
जीते जी
तो फिर वो बन जाएंगे।
जी सर. 10 जून के. There is a confusion about dates, but 8 to 10 June. That's absolutely correct, because then the second order.
8 जून है या 10 जून है?
10 जून.
कभी 10 जून का है, कभी 8 जून.
8 जून का है. ये that's one of the discrepancies which the Election Commission also points out.
नहीं, इनका आपका क्या है, 10 जून है 8 जून, क्या मौके है? अली जफर साहब, वो वाला इलेक्शन 8 जून का है 10 जून का है? 8 जून. मान लेते हैं 8 जून या नहीं?
Sir, let's accept 8 June. Is correct. But if that election is held to be valid, then the second order of the Election Commission, which is now impugned before the which was impugned before the Peshawar High Court, cannot stand. If the Lahore High Court accepts that writ, this second order will fall.
Either you take away the possibility, that possibility is a possibility.
Yes, it is.
Maybe not a probability, but it's a possibility.
Yes, my lord. Yes, it is.
So it is amounts to the same. Whether that's the test, I would imagine. I don't know.
My lord, that's exactly the test, and that's the test as laid down in Tirmizi and as
Then
is
the court said कि भाई अब तो ये infractious हो गया, अब इसको withdraw कर लो, तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं, आप इसको हम सुनेंगे 5 member bench प्लीज लगा दें
जी,
क्योंकि वो learned single judge said कि भाई इलेक्शन हो गए भाई, खत्म हो गया अब ये, या कर रहे हैं आप इलेक्शन जो भी, I don't know whatever the thing is. So they kept it pending.
they kept it pending and they said no, please send it to a bench
Or
of
let's
5
put it the
judges.
other way around. Suppose Peshawar dismissed it. So Lahore allowed it. ये भी हो सकता है?
Yes, my lord.
अच्छा.
In either event, the submission is that on the basis of Tirmizi, the Peshawar High Court, with great respect, had no jurisdiction. If your lordship may see page,
अगर हम समझे कुछ आप हमें ज्यादा बातें बताएंगे जमहूरियत के मुतालिक.
my lord, may I just finish my engagement with this particular judgment? The combined page 20, the combined reading of section 208, 209 and 215 does not give any impression that the ECP has any jurisdiction to question or adjudicate the intra-party election of a political party.
My lord had observed that this is a judgment in rem.
Yes.
Or is it not?
It is, my lord, because it is under Article 201 of the Constitution, it will bind the Election Commission because it is now declaring a finding of the High Court on a question of law. So it will act as a precedent. In view of this, the Election Commission now cannot go against this finding in any case at all. It will apply in every case. This is
Effectively, elections are over. If we uphold the judgment,
yes, my lord.
so they don't need to hold
Then
election.
215 is redundant. Because, my lord, if the power under paragraph subsection 5 of 215 is taken away, then the Election Commission's authority to insist that intra-party elections be held and be held in accordance with the Constitution. That's the statutory language. In accordance with the Constitution of the political party. That is the language which is repeatedly used in 209, 208, 215.
Got it. Next point.
My lord, if your lordship may then please graciously look at page 25. And that's the last portion I am identifying. It has the right to contest election under a common symbol. This constitutional right cannot be denied to it on the basis of absurd provision of law. My lord, if
Find that word very offensive.
my lord, this honorable court and the high courts can either hold a law to be valid or a law to be invalid, being in violation of the Constitution. It cannot, without holding a law to be invalid, hold that the law is absurd. That means,
If it was striking it down, it could be held.
yes,
Maybe.
yes, my lord, yes.
Not very legal language, but okay, acceptable.
So when they are not striking it down, not to follow it on the basis that it is absurd, means that they have not found it in violation of the Constitution, because if they did, then they should have struck it down.
Yes.
But if they did not, then they have to follow it. The High Court has to apply the law then. It can't simply walk away from the law saying it's absurd.
ठीक है, ये आप वो कह रहे हैं कि जो डिक्लेरेशन हमने नहीं मांगा तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है कि वो तो एक इनबिल्ट implied term है, उसका क्या कहेंगे आप?
My lord, the submission is that even if they have not sought a declaration, in view of this reasoning of the Peshawar High Court now, what is left in subsection 5 of section 215? Can subsection 5 of 215 be applied in any case from now on till any time in the future?
What's the answer?
The answer is no. If the party has given a certificate that elections have been held, the Election Commission has no authority to examine whether the elections were in accordance with the constitution of the party or the law. The certificate of the chairman of the party or secretary general of party, whoever is the competent authority, will suffice. That will be the end. That would be the end of the authority of the Election Commission. The only way in which the Election Commission will be able to invalidate an election is if such a certificate is not given.
एक चीज मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही है, एक तो होता बाद में इलेक्शन शेड्यूल के बाद आप जल्दी जल्दी चीजें कर रहे थे, ये वो आपको ऑर्डर मिला और इंटरिम इंजंक्शन का उन्होंने ऑर्डर लिया या नहीं मिला? वो जो पेशावर वाली हाई कोर्ट का एक वो बता दें। और दूसरी बात ये है कि ये इतने अरसे से आप इनसे कहने के इलेक्शन करवा लें तो क्या वजूहात हो सकती हैं कि इलेक्शन नहीं हो रहे थे?
My lord,
I mean, I know it's a realm of speculation. If you don't want to speculate, fine.
My lord, I would hesitate from speculating. I would move away.
Fine.
My lord, our respectful submission in respect of these.
ये रघु साहब ये रोमन 3 में इन्होंने जाके फिर उसका इफेक्ट दे दिया खुद ही 215 का, ये क्या है फिर?
Sir, our submission with respect is that is the inherent contradiction which my lord the Chief Justice was pointing out as well on page 26. If 215(5) is an absurd law, then how can a writ be issued strictly and is entitled to the election symbol strictly in terms of sections 215 and 217 read with any other enabling provision of the Election Act? So if this is an absurd piece of legislation, if no action can be taken on the basis of this legislation by the ECP, what is the basis of the honorable judges of the High Court to issue a writ on the basis of that same absurd provision of law?
Unless subsection 5 is struck down.
Unless
the provision has been.
My lord, if subsection 5 had been struck down, then the scope of controversy before this honorable court and submissions would have been entirely different. But over here the situation is that it is not struck down. It remains on the statute book. It remains as a valid piece of legislation on the statute book, but for all effects and purposes, it is made redundant. It is your lordship's consistent jurisprudence that no piece of legislation would be regarded as redundant. Your lordship can declare it as unconstitutional and therefore void, but your lordship cannot declare it as absurd and redundant. That's the respectful submission. That's the line of distinction I draw between a provision of the law which is in violation of the Constitution and therefore for all practical purposes doesn't exist.
Noted.
And the one which exists, which has been made redundant. My lord, those were all the submissions that we had to make.
Did you find those orders or no?
11, 12.
My lord, one of the orders is at page 302, part 2.
जी
निकासी क्या गई?
My lord, that is at page 302. Your lordship will say interim relief notice for 19th. Meanwhile, the respondent ECP is directed to continue.
Yes.
Continue.
Earlier petition.
The earlier petition will continue with the proceedings pursuant to the impugned notice. However, no final order shall be passed against the petitioners. Then if your lordship will see page 308, as the main case has already been fixed for hearing on 19th of December, therefore notice of CM be given to respondents for the date fixed. In the meanwhile, the petitioners are directed to appear before the Election Commission of Pakistan pursuant to the notice dated 8th of December 2023. However, the respondent shall not pass any adverse order against the petitioners.
What were they required to appear for then?
My lord, just to attend the proceedings. So hear them out, don't pass any order. Okay. And if your lordship may turn to the next page, 309.
चैलेंज फिर क्या किया था उन्होंने उसमें?
Sir, this was the time with the show cause notice had been
notice challenge की?
Yes.
There was no order of the commission?
No, my lord. At that, yes.
So simple show cause notice challenge की है.
Your lordship will see the notice is dated 12/12/2023. That is at page 576. Part 3, if your lordship has the chronology, it's on page 4 of the chronology.
नहीं हम एक्चुअल देखना चाहते हैं.
जी sir, it's at page 576, part 3. Sir, the page निकालो 596.
ये चैलेंज की थी.
जी सर.
ये दिखा दें प्रेयर से कि यही चैलेंज किया तो कुछ
If
और.
your lordship may turn to the petition, that my lord is there at page 585. The prayer clause at page 590. And the proceedings are being called into question. If your lordship will see,
इस शोकॉज का तस्करा कहाँ है? कि तो कह रहे हमारा सर्टिफिकेट पब्लिश करें.
my lord, yes, and they are mentioning the proceedings before the ECP, and your lordship
When is
will
the
see
date
the
of
first page of the petition. Which
नहीं,
is at-
नहीं, I don't think so, because if you see the date of the petition, this is 9/12/2023.
My lord, yes.
Your notice is 12/12/2023.
My lord, yes.
So I don't think this was under challenge.
My lord, this was 14/12/2023, page 585.
Huh? 585. जी.
So 9.
585 में क्या दिखा रहे हैं? That is not the notice under
Yes, sir.
challenge.
That's not. The prayers are all there.
9th of December को इन्होंने फाइल की ना पिटिशन.
If your lordship may
उन्होंने कहा कि आप हमें हमारा ये सिंबल दे दीजिए.
They filed a CMA. They filed
If your lordship will see, they have thereafter filed a CMA, page 592. They have filed a CMA, which is at page 592.
application for interim relief.
And your lordship will then see at page 594, paragraph 5.
ये इंडेक्स में लिखा हुआ है नोटिस इशूड बाय ईसीपी.
Yes, my lord. Yes, इंडेक्स में भी है और फिर पेज 594 में पैराग्राफ 5 में भी इसका
अच्छा,
जिक्र
ये इन्होंने अमेंड नहीं किया मगर they brought it on record.
है और brought it on record.
Got it.
And if your lordship will see 595, their prayer, they're asking for it to be suspended. And impugned notice be suspended. That is added by hand.
अमेंड नहीं करना चाहिए थी.
My lord, it ought to have been, but
मांग रहे हैं एप्लीकेशन 151.
yes, my lord. And it's mentioned in paragraph 5, the notice is mentioned in paragraph 8
Got
again.
it, got it, got it.
My lord. So it's mentioned in 2 paragraphs. कुछ कहना? सिकंदर?
वो जो स्टे ऑर्डर्स वाले दिस इज मैंने देखा हाँ वो स्टे ऑर्डर्स में सीएम मेंबर के ऊपर लिखा हुआ है. ठीक. जस्ट
ये
फाइन.
पहली पिटिशन किसने फाइल की थी? ये पेशावर में 5791. शख्स कौन था?
दिखाना भाई. My lord, I'll just give it to your lordship in a minute. This is page
नाम कहीं नहीं है.
585. कौन बंदा था? Sir, it is page 585, Pakistan Tehreek Insaf,
नहीं, वो शख्स कौन है?
Muhammad,
थ्रू इट्स ऑथराइज्ड.
authorized person.
वो कौन है ऑथराइज्ड पर्सन?
My lord, if your lordship will see, there is an affidavit with the application at page, I'll just
मलिक अनवर ताज.
Malik Anwar Taj, उनका affidavit लगा है 596, and he is also the petitioner number 3.
इधर ना वो हैं क्या नाम है? उमर